Hello everyone. So as I promised you, this is the video. This is the demo video, which I will show you. Number one, how to create a database with tables, and this time you will apply the constraints. Okay, and then I will show you how to populate the data for your database. Okay. Now, so before I go through this demonstration, I would like to remind you a little bit. Okay, so last week in week number 2, in topic 4A lesson number 1, I showed you, some very basic statement, which is about how to use create table. And in that demo video, I showed you how to create a University 1 database. If you remember, so for that University 1 database, I showed you how to create the student table, right? And then in homework 2 of last week, I also asked you to create 2 more tables, right? Okay. If you remember, for those tables in University 1 database, there are no constraints at all, right? This week we learn about topic number 4A, lesson number 2, and in topic 4A, lesson number 2, you learn how to apply the constraint. And this video showed you how to apply the constraint, okay, for the table. Now, this time, in this example, I will show you how to create a new university, which I call university. So this is a new university. Don't be confused with the one which we created last week, which is University 1. Okay, this is a completely new one. Okay, and I will show you from scratch how to create this university database with tables and with constraints. Okay, so have a look at the table here. So this is the one that I already discussed and showed you in topic 4A lesson 2, right? So make sure that you understand this table. So before I show you the example, I just want to explain a little bit here, which I haven't had the chance to explain. So if you look to the right, you see right here, this one, what is this one? This is the data time of Oracle. Okay, this is the data time Oracle. All right, so when you look at this one, you see that it is, a little bit, different from the data time of MySQL, right? But you don't have to be concerned with these data type, okay? In the example, I will show you the data type, which means that you don't have to choose the data type, okay? So because the objective of this example and demo is to show you how to create a table. So again, you don't have to be concerned much with the data type. The data type, I will tell you the data type. Okay. The second issue that I want to highlight before I show you the example is that every time when you want to create, a database, remember the phase in topic 4A lesson 2? Every time you want to create a database, create a physical database, you must have this table. Okay. All right. And if you recall, I already explained in topic 4A lesson number 2, this is the output of the logical design, which you already convert, which means you already convert the ERD into table, like this one. Okay, right. So once you have the table, look at the table to decide which table you must create first. Now, here's the rule. Remember for me, every time you create a database, you always create and insert. Okay, let's talk about create first. We talk about insert later. So every time you create a database, always create the parent table first. Okay, so if you look at this database, which are the parent table? Look into the one-to-many relationship, which I already explained in video lecture topic 4A lesson number 2. If you look at this one, this is one-to-many relationship, right? So this is the parent table. The course table is parent table. You have to create first. The faculty table is also on the 1M side. So it is also the parent table. So you have to create first. Okay. The same for student table. Okay. So that means you have to create, all three table, course, faculty, and student. Okay. In any order, that's fine. But you have to create all three first. Okay. And once you have the student table, you can create the enrollment table. Okay, but if you want to create enrollment table, you have to create the offering table first, right? So the order will be create all three table, course, faculty, and student, okay, first, and then create the offering table, and finally create the enrollment table. Make sense? Okay, right. So that's the idea. Okay. Also, if you look into the table, as I mentioned, from topic 4A, lesson number 2, ignore for me this self-referencing relationship. Okay, we don't normally see it in practice, but for now, to avoid, complexity, for you, I want to ignore this one. We come back and show you later. It's very easy. Okay. Right now, I want you to start workbench for me. Okay. All right, so right click, task manager, okay, go to services and hit the M key. Okay, you see that right here, I have MySQL. Okay, right click MySQL and start the services. Okay, all right, and now go to my workbench. Okay, database, connect to database, password. Okay, so you see that right here, this is what we have, right? I already introduced you in week number 2. Okay, so you see that right here, I have, query tab already. So if you want to open a new one, you could just close this one and open a new one. Okay. Okay. So click here to open a new SQL tab. Okay. Right. And so this is the University One database we created last week, right? Okay, but ignore this one. We don't use this one, okay? We are done with this one, okay? So I will create a new database. Okay, university. Okay, so click anywhere in the statement and run this one. Okay. All right, so you see right here, a new university is created. Okay, refresh to see in the schema here. Right, so this is the university you have. Okay, so you click on here, you click on table, double click, you see nothing because you haven't created any table yet, right? Next, go to the next line, use. Okay, university. Okay, and you see the cursor is still right here. I click to run this statement. Okay. All right, so you see that university now is highlighted. It means that you are now working with this one. Remember, don't forget to use the university database. Otherwise, my MySQL DBMS will show you error message because you see right here I have so many databases. Okay, right. Okay, so as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I will create faculty table and the course table first. Okay, faculty table, course table, and student table first. Okay, so let's create, the student table first. Okay. Okay, so this is, a new table. Okay, so the table is name student. So have a look at the column. You see that I have the following column. Okay, so how do I know this column? This column, I look at the table here, this one. Okay, all right. All right. The character, varchar. So all these kind of things you already know, right? So here you see that these are the constraints. Okay, these are the constraints. Okay, and this is not none is in line. We already know, right? For constraint, PK student PK, it is set for student number right here, and make sure that you don't forget this closing bracket, okay, and the semicolon, right? Okay. Next, I will create another table which is either the faculty or the course table. Okay. Okay. So these are the two tables that I have just created, right? Have a look at the first one. So for the course table, how do I know this column? Okay, this column right here. Okay, right here. Okay. And again, right here, if you pay attention to lecture, I choose small integer. You can choose integer. That's fine. No problem. Okay. And also, right here, I set the external primary key constraint for the course table. The same here for faculty number. Okay, fact no. Okay. And again, for now, you just have to ignore this one. Actually, this is a foreign key, self-referencing relationship. Remember, the one-to-many self-referencing relationship of this table we ignore. I will introduce it later to make it simple for the class. Okay. All right. Remember, to this point, we haven't run any statement yet. Do not run it. We will run all of the table at once. Okay. Right. Next, I will create this table. The offering table. Okay. All right. Right here. All right. So this is the offering table. Okay. Look at the offering table. I want you to look at this one again. So you see the offering table. There are two foreign key, right? One, the course node right here. Okay. And the other one is the faculty number right here. So we have two foreign key. So that means you have to set one primary key constraint and two foreign key constraint right here. Okay. All right. So look at the column and data type. So here, this is new. This is what you need to know. Every time when you make a remark, you want to make a remark, okay, you have to use this symbol, okay, forward slash, and then star, and then you use the same for this one, forward slash and star. Okay, so here I make a remark. What it means is that if you look into the textbook use, integer or int, the same. If you type int or integer in Workbench, they are all accepted. Okay. So here the textbook, if you look at page 54, the offer number is selected as data type as integer. Okay. Why? Because if you choose integer, the data type can automatically generate this number. I mean, if the course it offers several offer, okay, then if you choose int integer, then it can be generated automatically. However, nothing wrong if you choose char. Okay, just like the offering number of this database course, if I remember correctly, it is 16030. So that will be jar 5 character, right? The length is 5. No problem. But here in this example, we should choose int. Okay, all right. And remember, you have not constraint for this column. Okay. Off time, the textbook choose day, but here I choose time. Okay, nothing wrong, but I choose time. You set primary key for offer no, right? And you set two foreign key, okay, for course no and fact no. Remember the table, okay? Right. So that's for the offering table. And the last table that you have created is the enrollment table, okay? Okay, so the last table is enrollment. So what do we have here? Remember the offer no? I explained in the above offering table, it is int, okay? Student number, okay? The student number, not none, okay? I just changed the layout a little bit so that it's easy for you to see, okay? Enrollment grade data type. Now, the primary key, remember this is already explained in my video lecture, okay? This is a combination of two. This is the composite primary key, okay? So that's why you have to set the constraint for a composite primary key like this. Remember, this is very, very important, okay? Now, for foreign key, everything is the same, nothing new. New is this one, okay? So here, I make a note, see video lecture of week number 2 and textbook page 57 for details about actions on reference rows. What I mean here is that actually you don't need this one, okay? But if you design database, if you care about your data, you should have this one, okay? So what it means here is that on delete cascade, which means that every time if somebody delete or update the primary key offer no, okay, in the offering table, then it will the database will show a message to ask the user to also update or delete the offer no as a foreign key in the enrollment table, okay? The same for the student number. That's why we use on delete cascade, on update cascade, or you can use on delete restrict, on update restrict, which means that you do not allow to update or delete the primary key student number or offer number, okay? Right. So make sure that you understand. Again, I make a note right here and make sure that you know how to use the no. You have forward slash here and the star, and forward slash here and the star, okay? So here it is see video lecture of week number 2 and textbook page 57 for details about actions on reference rows, okay? All right, so that's all for all the table. Okay, now I will choose all the table. Remember these two we already run, so you don't have to run it again. If you choose all of them, you will see error message. So make sure that you choose just the one that you want to run. So these all table, I will, choose all of them. Okay, and I'll click on this one. Execute the selected portion of the script or everything if there is no selection. Okay, so you see that all tables are created now. Okay, you see no error message right here. Okay, so I want you to double click on table here. Right, refresh this one first. Okay, and you see all table here. Okay, and if you want to see any table, you just have to point to the right here. You see the table, click on it. Okay, you see that for the course table, I have 3 columns, but I don't have any data yet. Okay, all right. So last week we have an example which I asked you to take a screenshot of this table without the data, right? If you remember, okay. Okay. So that's it. That is how to create a university database and all the file table. Okay, look at the file table again. Okay. Right, we have create student, faculty, course, and then we create offering, and then we create enrollment, right? Okay, good. Okay, now I will populate the data for this database. Okay, how? I will click open a new tab right here. Okay, and in this tab I will copy and paste the insert statement, okay, from the file. Okay, so I have created the insert file right here for you. Okay, so what you need to do is just to Control A to choose all of them, Control C, copy all of them, okay, and go back to the script file right here and paste. That's it. Okay, now you may question, so what is insert statement? You don't have to be concerned with this statement right now. Okay, next week number 4, I will show you all the SQL data manipulation language, and so you will have a chance to learn how to use insert, delete, and update statement. Okay, for now the objective is just to populate the database. So I have created the script file for you, and here you have it. You already paste into the script file, and what you need to do is just to click here to execute all the portion of the script. You don't have to choose them, just click and choose all of them. Remember, you are now still working with this database. That's why you see it is highlighted. Okay, and your data will be populated into all the table here of this database. Okay, right, click to execute. Okay, right. Okay, so you see no error here. It means that everything is fine. Okay, now look, if you want to check if the data is populated, click here in the course. See, wow, you see all the course right here, right? All the data. Or for example, click on, for example, faculty. Okay, click on here. Wow, you see that I have a lot of faculty, right? I have, several rows here, faculty data. Okay, right. So that's all for the video to show you how to create a database with tables, constraints, and show you how to populate the database. Right? See you in topic 4B, the next lesson. Okay? Bye.